Welcome back to Break the Frame Comics, where we break down panels, analyze the ink, and occasionally break our own brains trying to understand comic book continuity. This is going to be a first, and you guys gotta let me know if you enjoy it, or if I suck and should just stick to motion comics. But today we are going to start a new, and what will hopefully be, a new series, Breaking the Comic. I know, cheesy, but hey, if you ain't cheesy, you ain't pizza. And to keep on tradition, today we are going to start with the greatest superhero on Earth. Debate me if you dare. And for this, we are going back, all the way back to your mama's house. I mean back to May, 1939. Yes, if you know your history, and if not, that's why I'm hoping you're here. We are talking about Detective Comics number 27, The Holy Grail, The Big Cheese, the first appearance of a little-known Dark Knight,
the Batman.
But seriously, while everyone knows Batman, and he is my absolute favorite and what inspired me to make this channel, very few people actually know what goes down in his very first comic. So, grab your utility belts and your shark repellent, because today we're breaking down The Case of the Chemical Syndicate. Our story begins not in a dark alley, or with shiny pearls, but with a like button, and in the living room of Commissioner Gordon. We got him hanging out with his rich young friend, Bruce Wayne. Bruce is described as a bored young millionaire, when suddenly, the phone rings. A man named Lambert, the local chemical kingpin, has been stabbed, and Gordon, seeing his buddy, brings him along for the ride-along. They arrive at the scene, and Lambert's son is there, standing over the body. The son claims he found his dad dead and saw a weird shadow jump out the window. As the police investigate Lambert's old business partners, the other partners start dropping like flies. First, Steven gets murdered. Then we check in on the next partner, Paul Rogers, who goes to visit the last partner, Alfred Stryker. Turns out, Stryker is the mastermind. He wants total control of the chemical syndicate. Stryker's goons try to kill Rogers with a gas chamber, which is highly unnecessary and very dramatic. But suddenly, glass shatters! Enter the Batman. He swoops in, beats the absolute stuffing out of the goons, and saves Rogers. Stryker pulls a gun, but the Batman isn't having it. He punches Stryker hard. So hard, like the subscribe button, in fact, that Stryker falls backward over a railing and straight into a vat of boiling acid. And before the no-kill rule, which no movie ever followed, the Batman validates the death of this would-be killer. This Batman woke up and chose violence. The story ends with Commissioner Gordon back home, telling Bruce Wayne about this mysterious Batman. Bruce yawns, says, "Sounds like a neat guy. Anyway, I'm going to bed." The final panel reveals a twist that shocked literally no one reading today, but blew minds in 1939. Bruce Wayne goes into his room, opens a trunk, and we realize he is the Batman! Cue the gasps! So, what does this 6-page story actually mean for comic history? Well, Detective Comics number 27 is essentially the bridge between 1930s pulp magazines and modern superhero comics. Before Batman, we had characters like The Shadow and Doc Savage, gritty, gun-toting vigilantes who solved mysteries. Batman was meant to capitalize on the success of Superman, who debuted a year earlier in Action Comics number 1, but with a dark, mortal twist. He represented the ultimate fantasy. What if you had infinite money, infinite free time, and just really hated crime? But here's the kicker about this issue. It's not wholly original. The plot of The Case of the Chemical Syndicate is actually a massive ripoff of a Shadow story called Partners of Peril. I'm talking beat for beat, character for character. And it worked. It gave us a hero born out of shadows, proving that you didn't need to be an alien from Krypton to be super. You just needed childhood trauma and an unlimited budget. But, did you know Batman was almost blonde? When creator Bob Kane first pitched Batman, his design was rough. He drew a guy with blonde hair, a domino mask, and a bright red suit with stiff, rigid wings. He looked less like the Dark Knight and more like Barnacle Boy. And another thing to add, did you know Bill Finger is the real MVP? It was the unsung co-creator, Bill Finger, who looked at the red suit and said, "No, make him scary." Finger suggested the gray and black colors, the cowl instead of a domino mask, the scalloped cape, and even the name Bruce Wayne. For decades, Bob Kane took all the credit, but without Bill Finger, there is no Batman. Period. Bill Finger didn't officially get credit until September 2015, a full 76 years after Detective Comics number 27 hit the stands, and 41 years after Finger passed away in poverty. When Bob Kane pitched Batman to National Comics, which later became DC, he was a shrewd 23-year-old businessman. He signed a contract that guaranteed him sole, mandatory, created-by credit on everything Batman-related, forever. Bill Finger, who was a freelance writer and essentially Kane's ghostwriter, signed no such deal. He was just paid a page rate by Kane directly. For decades, everyone inside the comic industry knew Bill Finger was the real creative genius behind the Bat Ears, Gotham, the Joker, and Robin. But legally, DC's hands were tied by Kane's airtight contract. Kane vehemently defended his sole credit for most of his life, though in his 1989 autobiography, he finally admitted he felt guilty about it, and that Finger was the unsung hero. But Kane died in 1998, and the credits still hadn't changed. The push for justice really gained momentum thanks to an author named Mark Tyler Nobleman, who spent years researching Finger, wrote a book called Bill the Boy Wonder, and tracked down Finger's granddaughter, Athena Finger. Armed with public support and a growing outcry from the comic community, Athena and her legal team finally took on DC Entertainment. In September 2015, they announced a landmark agreement. The official credit was permanently changed from Batman created by Bob Kane to Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. And one last thing. This comic is basically a house. If you want a physical copy of Detective Comics number 27 today, you better start saving. A near mint graded copy sold in 2020 for $1.5 million. For that price, you could probably just build an actual Batcave, or at least buy a lot of really nice vats of acid. And that, my frame-breaking friends, is the complete breakdown of Detective Comics number 27. It's rough, it's unpolished, and the main character commits casual manslaughter, but it laid the foundation for an 80-plus year legacy that is still going strong today. I thank you guys for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys would like to see more of this style, please let me know below. I'm planning on doing more from the motion comics I've done before. And if you're new and haven't had the chance, the actual full motion comic will be linked to the end of this video. So, until next time, keep reading, keep breaking frames, and remember, if it ain't cheesy, it ain't pizza. Bye for now, my friends.